Today on Behind the Gate, I'm with Mathilde de Cagny, Paris born, LA based animal trainer for film and TV. She's translated canine body language into believable on screen performances while keeping welfare first. Her path runs from horses and dogs in Normandy to Hollywood sets with a steady through line: respect the animal, read the room, and build trust before you ask for work. We'll dig into casting from rescues, shaping character without breaking the dog, calling for a pause when safety requires it, and why clear prep, checklists, and communication systems, not heroics, make the magic possible. Mathilde, thank you so much for being here today. Please introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Mathilde de Cagny. I'm an animal trainer for motion pictures, entertainment. I'm originally from France, Paris, and I've moved to the US about 42 years ago. And I got fortunate to follow up this passion of animals that I've had in France. Grew up in Paris and Normandy, raising horses and dogs. I've been around animals all my life, and I got really fortunate to have been part of this American dream, if I may say, by doing this job that I'm passionate about. I also work a lot with rescues and I do private training for ownerships. And I work a lot with rescues to try to help a dog being rehabilitated and incorporated into new home. So there's a smooth transitions and people that need help. I kind of call it sometimes translating. And so translate what's going on in the dog's mind and share it with the new owners. Numerous movies and travels. This job is being a psychologist
You have to wear
for the
lots of
animals,
hats.
which is great. Being able to read the room, the situation, whatever conditions, whether you're making a movie or whether you're in somebody's household or you're at a shelter, you just got to be respectful to what's going on around you and what are the animals saying in a way. For me, I feel like I have an ability to read them very well. It's like a second nature. The body language and the vibes, a lot of the body language. So it's kind of like learning another language or speaking another
Mhm.
language.
When audiences see a dog on screen, they think, oh, that's just a cute trick. But you're actually building a performance. So, how do you shape the character and the emotion through training?
Oh, yeah, that's the fun part. Number one is you want to make the animal looks on screen very natural. So people, most of them know that there is a coach behind it, but you don't want to feel it. That's really important. So you connect the animal with the actors usually, or with whatever he's going to be doing. But the primary thing is it needs to be fun. It has to be a game, something rewarding, like a toy, treats, affection. The repetition and the learning process is kind of, it's like for them the same than being a natural in a natural environment. So hunting, they like the chase, and then a dog will be usually, looking for prey often. So you want to work with their instinct, whatever they're bred for, or but the process is really fascinating because it's baby steps. And it has to match your dog's personality.
Do you the dogs for the roles, or are you given a dog that you then need to
Well,
train?
yeah, no, I find the dogs. Either we already have our dogs, like I have a couple at home that are highly trained, that I will send pictures to the producers, whether it's a commercial, and say, okay, we have this list. I work for a company called Birds and Animals Unlimited. As a company and trainers, each have, different kind, different type, different breed-ish, a lot of mud. And so I would either offer, depending on the budget and what the client wants, we'll either offer dogs that have already been trained, or on very most of movie feature films, they will require to cast
They want a
their own
specific
dog.
look, right?
Exactly. And in that case, we go on a search of shelters, rescues. I get dogs that are already adults, and I like to give them second chance. And I love to, I look into their personality and their personality, whether it fit. It has to be the right personality for this job. So it has to be dogs that are not shy, really outgoing.
Yes.
That's not a problem. But dogs that are that wants to do this kind of behaviors or attitude, or that loves people, kids, likes to play ball, or that are very curious, seeking stuff.
Hmm.
Whatever script I get, I will get 1, 2 dogs to make a team, because you always gotta have, and I will take different personalities. So matching dog, but one that's matches the script. So let's say if you have a dog that's supposed to act fearful, for instance, doesn't mean that my dog will be fearful. I will take the more subdued of the two to do the scenes where he comes in. I will teach him to put his head down and walk with his head low and stay and look right, look left, and then back up if he's scared, or, go hide behind something. The fun part is the training, and also working with the directors and the producers, offering some behaviors, because most of the time they don't know how far you can push and what you can do. And that would be my job, to offer a lot of different behaviors that will relate to the scene you want to accomplish. And you do that for everything. You go through the script and match the dog that will match that. For instance, on Arthur the King, I don't know if you saw that one, but it's really adventurous. The dog is on his own. He's supposed to be in pain and dying. And so I had to teach him to walk and then fall on his side and then have a limp and then bare his teeth because he gets scared. All that, the dog is originally, obviously in great health. And so all that was being related, and it was great. And also you spend a lot of time working the animals with the actors, so they have a bond, so I don't have to intervene. They relate to each other.
They ever go with them?
No.
They go home with you?
The dogs, yes,
Yes.
they all live with us, all the trainers. So that's the fun part, is we have very strong relationship, but I teach them to relate to somebody they don't know.
Hmm.
And that's why it's important that your dog is outgoing,
Right.
that he's never strangers.
Can you share a scene where an animal completely surprised you on set, in a positive way or in a negative way?
I try to forget.
You.
I mean, let's say one time on the Frasier set, I had the Jack Russell moose that played Eddie. We were on a set for 11 years, but so he's been very used to the set and everything. And one of the season, we were doing a Christmas show, and we had to rehearse with all the Christmas trees and stuff on the tables and everywhere. And they had behind the couch on the console, they had like a little Santa with his beard and his gift and, chubby. And he was there the whole time. During the show, the dog came from backstage and he had to jump on the couch, and wearing a Christmas hat and a Santa hat. And so, but I didn't realize that actually for the show, the prop guy, the Santa was actually swaying his his body right and left, and we'd never rehearsed it like that. So all of a sudden, I see the son moving back and forth, kind of dancing, and the dog comes in from backstage, jumps on the couch, and sees the fairy fur, the beard, and him moving, and going ha 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 ha, and he attacked it. He just literally, no, there was some kind of a, so yeah, he went crazy after Santa. We had to remove it. So that was the,
I bet you have lots of
but
stories like that.
yeah, let's say for Molly and me, I got a dog, but they were always a couple years old. And this particular one was extremely hyper. And I did not want to train it out of him. I like to work with their personality. That's why I pick dogs that works for the scenes, work for the vibes of the movie, the vision of the director, because I want to work with them. I don't want to break them. So it was a great script. I decided to keep that dog as hyper. Like I never taught him not to pull on a leash. I will tie stuff behind him and run him, and I will grab all kinds of toys and let him tear it up. Went to a Goodwill, got a couch, and let him tear that up. So I spent a couple of months literally get him uh, playing
You were egging him on.
his yeah. We was like crazy, and everybody was telling me you're crazy. And then when we got on set, I suggested to the director that we don't rehearse the dog and the actors. So Owen Wilson, Jennifer Aniston, they met him, but I said let's just. So I will rehearse the dog. Obviously, we had specifics to do. I will rehearse him so I would know the camera move, how to send him and when, and make him bark or whatever needed to be done. But none of the both of actors did not know what really was going to happen. And we shot the whole movie like that. And it was fantastic because at some point he came in totally not. He was supposed to come in a room and there at the desk looking at houses to buy. And and I sent him, and he was gonna technically gonna stop next to them and just like be there, but he went running into the room and jumped straight on the desk. And so now they're dealing with it, and they're like, "Oh, Molly, no!" And they're trying to grab their papers, and he's there, and he's kissing and licking. So all of that, and the whole movie was like that.
Bet that was
It,
really fun to watch.
yeah, honestly, the whole crew, everybody loved. We couldn't wait to get to the next day.
Obviously,
Or
animals don't read scripts. So, what kind of routines or backup plans do you rely on to keep a set from spiraling into chaos?
they have to respect the animals' work and us. It's very clear that when we're working the animals, we can be surprised. Nobody can come up and decide to all of a sudden start a car or startle something. All that part is very monitored by us and the 80s. So we ask that the animals are not being disturbed and that I know what's going to happen on the actor's part.
Mhm.
So the dogs, you can't surprise
Yeah,
them,
they have to
whether it's
have
good or
predictive information.
no. Yeah. And even for me, I'm going to want to know what's going to happen. So we're very strict in a way about that. You're their voice. So, and their eyes. So if I work with birds, for instance, I will always go to their eye level to see what they see. Or a small dog, you go down and you say, "Oh, look, the sun is right in the eye. It's not here, but it's down here." So he's not going to have a good vision. He's not going to be in the best condition. I don't want to work him with the bright sun in the eyes. We need to turn something, the camera, the dogs,
Do you ever get
things like that.
pushback from the director, or are they pretty open to your suggestions and recommendations?
Honestly, if it happened twice in 40 years, which it kind of did. Back then, we have what's called a person that is there to monitor the well being the animals. and I will go to that person and say, look, I have not prepped this. I am not ready to send a dog, following a carriage with horses or having jump off a running truck or whatever. Production doesn't seem to agree with me. So I rely to somebody else by saying, look, I am not comfortable doing this. Give me a couple days or let's think of something else. Truly, it hasn't happened in years.
So, what is the
Super fun.
secret to getting everyone aligned? I mean, you're working with directors and actors and crew. How do you get everyone aligned so that you're all working in sync with this somewhat unpredictable animal?
Yeah, it should be predictable. That's my job to make it so. But it's communication.
Mm.
It's all about communication. We have a lot of meetings, pre-production meetings. I have a meeting with the director and the producers. We go over the script. Movies like Strays, for instance, where the dogs, it's all about them. They're they're in every single scene and shot with barely any actors or not much or Lassie, or I mean, movies I do, the dogs is usually the main actor. It's a movie based on. So yeah, a lot of communication, meetings, every movies. So you start with a couple of people, and then you add on the visual effects, the special effects, and everything goes over every line. We go over carefully. What's important is the prep time. I will do my prepping at home. I will start all the obedience and so forth. But then I require that I get to go on set and start customize the dogs to the set and to the props, and then at the last, the actors.
How long does it take from when you find a dog in the shelter and you decide this dog and this dog, these are the two I'm going to work with? What is the timeline to get them
And
ready?
well, I mean, if it's a movie that the dog is the main
Mhm.
actor, it's about 60 weeks.
6, you
That
said?
3 months,
Oh,
because it depends on how much how much work we really. But on Strays, this is a movie that I had the most. I had over 80 behavior to teach the dog. 80 things for them to do, which was a tremendous amount of training. Thank God she's a workaholic. She is, and the team, they're border terriers. They want to be working like Jack Russells.
mhm.
They gotta be busy. Most of them, it helps them channel their energy. You need to pick the right breed for that kind of stuff. And that breed was, you know, just they never stop.
Right. You're always going.
But this was the most behaviors I had to teach, and I remember writing them down, like, "Oh my god."
Is there ever
And
a
but so
quest, like a behavior they want you to teach that you say, "No, I'm not teaching this"?
again, it depends on, you try not to say no, you try to think of ways that's your attitude to begin with. Unless it's something dangerous, that it's not being able to be performed. When I started, and for years, for I don't know, 30, 20 years at least, we didn't have special effects. We didn't have any removal, green screen, all that stuff. So everything had to be done for real.
Mhm.
Now there's nothing that can't be done because you have trainers removals, visual effects, and ways to do things, split screens, you name it.
Oh, you could be on
Nowadays,
screen with the dog, and they can, through technology, remove you in post.
they have enough money, yes. There's a bit of a budget factor, but anything can be done.
Mm,
It's,
mm.
we work with stunts a lot. For instance, on Anchorman, number two, the dog had to, they wanted to see him swimming underwater with his eyes open. There was no way I could do that. I had him jump, grab a toy, so they had the first part of the dog, and then they had to do my visual effects
It
dog.
made their movie magic.
Yeah. So much help these days. It's good and bad
And
in a
how do you
way.
see
Not
I know how you see it's good because then you don't have to force a dog to do something that you aren't comfortable with, but how do you see it's bad?
no, you never force a
Right.
dog that I'm comfortable with. That was never it's never been you either find different ways or that's never been an issue. Because again, I mean we're there to we're a team. They're there to perform what they want to do, and so that wouldn't be the issue or the challenge. But no, what's good is it's a lot easier because you can be closer. But what's bad is you lose some of the craft. You know, the craft is to just don't be assisted. It's kind of like a chat GPT in a way. You know, it's like, are you gonna make your own resume and work at it and do it yourself, or is somebody gonna push the button? Someone's gonna give you ideas. So I'm super happy. For instance, in 2006, we had zero special effects, and I still had to teach the dog to jump the fence. We were able to cheat it, but I had to teach her to climb the fence. So you start with the a chain length fence, very low onto a platform, and then you slowly raise it to the point where then you get to the point. There was no special effects there, nothing. And that's fun because you spend the time figuring things out, trying. This dog doesn't want to do that. We're going to use that one to do it. Nowadays, they will say, oh, we'll put a green screen and just have the dog jump and then we'll design it.
I can see how
It's,
you lose some of the creativity and the technical parts of it,
yeah,
yeah. How many were there?
three,
3 that
three.
played
And
Lassie?
one, usually you stick with one. The lead dog is always your main dog. For instance, the one that did the fence, it was the second class. He was the state one. She loved moving, running and jumping. Very hyper for a collie, really hyper. So yeah, we always have 3 to 4 dogs on big movies like that.
Mhm, mhm. What is one moment from a set that still makes you laugh years later, other than the one you told us about, the Jack Russell and the
And
Santa?
yeah, makes me laugh.
Anything that makes you sad that you've had to experience?
I get really emotional. Either the dogs are gone or because there's such a long process. I go to shelters and pick those animals. They're behind bars, whatever life they had beforehand. And you start from scratch, from zero. They become not just devoted, but they become your partner, your kid, of course. There's so much emotion that comes through. And they jump in your arm and you know, and on set, people always tell me because I let my dogs kiss me and jump up, and we have very tactile relationship, and often they're like, "Oh, it's so cute." There's a lot of celebration at
Right.
the end of a scene, and I hear the director going, "Oh, that was great." I just did one TV show like 2 weeks ago. The dog had to tap buttons. He was supposed to be like a, you know, the talking dogs, like a,
Mhm.
and so he was supposed to say, "Mommy, eat food out," something. And then, but ultimately it was with one foot. But she was great. She was having so much fun with that. I taught her the right foot, the left foot, and the tap. If she really wanted something to push a couple times in a row, we got on set and she was like a firecracker. She's on her couch. She's got a little table and she's got all the button. And I go right foot, left foot. She goes boom, 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 tap, tap, left. She did that for 5, 6 minutes nonstop. And the director is just like got up and go, that is the best thing I ever seen.
Oh.
And so we all were like, "Whee!" And it was just celebrations.
Mhm.
It's fun.
So where
Those
is
are,
she what happens to the dogs after you
and then they live with us.
so
They live, so it's one of my partner that I work with, dog that lives with her. but you can't see, but I got like 4 here all around me.
So if you pull
And
you train them for a specific role and they serve their purpose, you don't adopt all of them, do you?
no, yes, I do. Usually the backup dogs, so number 2 and 3, I find homes.
Mm.
People are delighted to have highly trained dogs that they can see in the
Well, yeah,
movies
they have
or
dogs.
and oftentimes they're friends, because they all. So I would say, hey, we're looking for a really good home for, and it's very specific.
Mhm.
Of we're very, very, but all the lead dogs they stay with each one of us, the trainers. I have the one from Strays. Most of mine, well, not most, but they eventually pass away.
Mhm. Yeah,
As some are gone, but no, you can't separate like that.
right. That would be hard. Technology, how do you see animal training evolving alongside that?
More or less, not great. It depends. Here's the thing people really love to relate to an animal that they can eventually meet at the premiere. It's like actors. All your actors are AI generated. If George Clooney is no longer George Clooney, or it's has a soul and a feel that people are gonna miss. On the other hand, let's say you have a pack of wolves that needs to be surrounding a little kid. It's like, it's a no-brainer. I mean, safety, time, everything. So it's a little bit of a great, I mean, bitter sour. My generation, I'm so happy I got to go from the bottom, bare bottom of not much budget, a lot to do, to this thing and evolve. It's probably going to be gone at some point or a lot less, but you'll always have commercials,
Mhm.
like commercials, all the dog foods. And I'm sure it's not evolved in a great direction
Yeah, you
as
see it
far as
possibly eliminating a need for
craft. The crafts probably, I don't know that I would necessarily tell a kid the industry in general is not even nearly right now since COVID. I used to have piles of script on my desk and not knowing how we were going to do all of it. It's no longer the case. I don't even know where the industry is going at this
Mhm.
point.
What do you think animals teach us, whether on set or at home, that humans tend to forget?
Well, I tell you, humans tends to forget that animals are animals. They humanize their animals all the time. And it's not good because they're not in our world the way we are. So they don't rationalize the way we do. That's why I was telling you it's a little bit of a linguistic and a psychologist job
Mhm.
before anything, because most people don't separate the animal to the to the human. And in that case, it's unbalanced. But they do bring us so much gratification, love, smile, and they teach us compassion. They teach us, I mean, for kids, they can be an important element to add to growing because you have to care. You have incredible privileged moments with your animals. And so, like knowing how to just living with a dog, and it's known health wise that it will decrease your stress,
Mhm.
your heart. Often we'll say, get a cat, we take animals to hospitals and all that stuff. It's not just the love is, but it's a relationship. I will advise everybody to have a kid because it makes you a better person. You're not so self centered. Now you have to take care of somebody and adjust your life to that. It forces you to go out and walk, get out of, your desk, off your desk. And I mean, there's so many books that's been written about the relationship and what they bring. Their eyes are extremely soulful.
Mhm.
I think it teaches us to be a better person.
Agree with you there.
And
What would you like to share with us that I haven't asked you?
I base all my training on respect. People have a lot of expectations sometimes with animals. A puppy is like, oh, he needs to be house trained by next week. Oh, he should be walking on leash. He should be doing this. And it's like, no, you gotta give them time to grow up. You have to make yourself in your animal point of view. That's super important. Rescue. Rescue is such a important. There's too many animals being euthanized and don't breed, stop the breeding, just be aware of all that stuff. And the more you can involve your dog into some activities, stimulations is really the best for them. You can't have an animal be gone all day and expect that specific animal to just had a good time. He did not.
Right.
Like only engage of the kids. There's all kinds of games that can be played now and taught to the dogs and even hide and seek. And so really, if you take an animal, just do it right because a lot of
Well,
people,
thank you. If people would
my
like
pleasure.
to know more about you, where should they go?
Probably my website be the best. So kind of working on it right now because somebody said, "Oh, your about page it's not usually extended because there's a lot more to it." So it'd be Mathilde de Cagny dog training.
Gotcha. Mathilde de
It-
Cagny,
uh,
dogtraining.com.
Dog it's my website. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have it pulled up
Okay.
over here. It's beautiful.
It's got all kinds of pictures that are fun too.
Well, thank you so much. I
And
really enjoyed talking to you.
it's my pleasure.